As I walk through the now empty street, I am reminded of how life used to be. The local bank that was once busy and crowded on Saturday mornings, now smashed and looted. The swimming pool where I used to exercise, now a crimson red and half drained. The saying was true, you never realised what you have until it's gone. I miss a lot of things. Running water and fresh sandwiches being some, my morning coffee, a vanilla latte with 2 brown sugars still steaming in my hands as I drank it. I don't know how I make it through each day without the coffee keeping me going. Adrenaline and fear does most of the work, I guess. But either way, I wish it was the coffee instead. I reach into my pockets. Where I once carried loose change, I now carried 5.32 caliber bullets. I feel them between my fingers, counting them to make sure they're all still there. It didn't take long for the shit to hit the fan. Just a month ago, I was going about life like any other normal civilized person. That was until I saw the news and heard the broadcast. In a matter of days, the damage was done to a point of no return. The so-called zombie apocalypse hit, and soon, there was nothing left to save. Nothing had prepared me for this. I'd read books, I'd seen the movies and TV shows, but it was like nothing out of any of the above. They were fast, they didn't tire, and they were strong. Pulling off a headshot was nothing like what you would see in the movies. Not only that, but once you fired that shot, you better bet your ass you had a lot more where that came from. Once they heard the shots, they wouldn't stop. Those people who'd spent their whole lives preparing for this had gotten it all wrong. They weren't stupid. The zombies, that is. They weren't bumping into shit or falling over. They hunted. And they were fucking good at it. I find myself in my old neighbourhood, ignoring the #1 rule of all zombie plans. Never stay in the city. Stick to the rural areas to avoid large swarms, and have access to open space to escape. But hey, guess what? Everyone had that idea. Everyone left, that is. No one knows how little food is left out there. I'm no farmer, and even if I was, winter is fast approaching. I can hear them, approaching slowly. I feel this is the end. I've never given death much thought. Even after all that's happened, I guess my sole purpose of surviving had me drown out any notion of it. But now, I guess I feel relieved more than anything. I pull the revolver from my belt, 6 rounds already in the cylinder. I pull the hammer down as the chamber rotates a slot to the right, giving off a very satisfying and yet equally tense clicking sound. If I am to die today, I want to go down fighting. I have no intention of being eaten. 6 in the chamber, 5 on hold. I find myself backing into an alley as the groaning of the undead edges closer with each passing moment. I take aim at the end of the alley, just waiting for the first one to come into view. I was certain they knew where I was hiding. Trying to prolong it won't save me now. I see one walk into view. A woman, judging by its silhouette form. Its body stiff from lack of blood flow. It walks almost like a wooden puppet. I see it poke its head in all directions. The one major advantage we had over them was sight. Their pale eyes limited their vision, but their smell and hearing became their primary senses. It pauses, before its head slowly begins to crackle into my direction. Even from afar, I can hear its bone in its spinal cord snap and twist as it lets out an aggressive moan. I take aim, pulling the sights to its forehead. It screams a horrifying howl, one filled with pain and discomfort. She sprints towards me, arms flailing frantically. I fire off the first of my rounds. I land a shot in the shoulder before taking aim once again. Another shot fired as it hits its mark between the eyes of the former woman. Skull and brain matter explode out the back of her head as it rains down. Before her lifeless body has even hit the floor, I see a large crowd gathering at the end of the alley. They pause, as they seem to observe. The peace was short-lived as they begin to charge. An army of undead sprint towards me. I breathe out slowly as I take aim for another shot. I feel my body heat rising, along with my anxiety. In a panic, I end up firing more rapidly, hoping to put a dent in their assault. Despite the multiple shots, it seemed to do nothing to impede their approach. I kick over a trash can as I back up, a weak and futile attempt to buy myself some time for a reload. I release the cylinder as the shells fall to the ground around my feet. I sharply load each individual new bullet. In a swift action, I swing the cylinder into place as I fire off another 2 shots. The bullets seem to have no effect on the swarm. My attempts at prolonging my death have been far exhausted. I have already come to terms with that. There was just one final thing I could do before they reach me. I pull the revolver to my chin. I close my eyes tight as I take the smallest moment to prepare. I pull the trigger. Through my racing mind, one thought had stood out past the rest. I just wish I had counted again.